Is it time to step up your game with lights? I got you covered. Sometimes you just need more power. Today we're going to cover intermediate lights that range between the typical little dinky YouTuber lights and the big Hollywood lights. So we're going to cover lights that are between 200 watts and 800 watts. That's our range today because sometimes you just need more power. So, and you know me, I like lightweight, as small as possible. And if I really like battery powered so I can go on location and take these things out into the world, and in that case, I really don't want heavy and big. So I know there's all kinds of choices out there. This isn't all of them, but these are the ones that I picked because they are kind of the smallest, most lightweight ones in this power range. So let's get going here. I'm going to test these things on just bare LED. Just test it bare because the moment you put a modifier on it, the readings are all over the place. You can put the same modifier on 3 different lights and get 3 different readings. Like each one of these modifiers has a different result. Some of these might be better with some lights and worse with other lights. It really is all over the place. So to keep it steady, I'm going to keep in mind also, just because this light might be brighter than this light, bare, this light might be brighter with a certain modifier than this one. So, and I'm going to go from the dimmest to the brightest. So the higher the number, just like f-stops, the higher the number, the brighter the light. So the lowest one is 5.62 bare, and that is the Ulanzi VL120 by. I'm going to start with this one here because it is my most favorite travel light. It's the most lightweight for the power, and you get the most bang for your buck. Nothing beats this amount of power for this amount of money. It's only $129, and it's only 2.5 pounds. This costs and weighs less than the Zhiyun X200 over here. This is actually a lot more cost and weight actually than this is. Believe it or not, this is lighter. And this thing I like because this one uses little tiny 99 watt V-mount batteries that go on here, and you get 100% power. If you take this battery and put it on the X200, you're only going to get 3/4 of the power. For that one, you need a big, giant, heavy 26 volt V-mounts, which most people don't even know exist. All they know is the 14 volt. You need big, heavy, giant 26 volt V-mounts for that one. So that's why I like this one here. This one is the smallest, most lightweight with the most amount of power that costs the least. The modifier that I like to use the most out of all these modifiers, the best balance between power and softness, is the Magnum. It's Magnum reflector, big giant reflector with a sock over it. So this is how I like it. And you get the power of the reflector, but the softness of the sock. By the way, I'm going to mention this real quick because everybody keeps asking about the new Amaran Ray lights. Boy, are you guys easily influenced by hype. These things are RGB lights, and RGB have 2 things wrong with them. 1, they're not as bright as bicolor and daylight lights, and 2, the skin tones are not as good. And I hate stupid battery handles compared to like the Zhiyun 100. This is so nice. You just click the battery right on the side. You're ready to go. Look how elegant that is. This nightmare is I hate handle batteries. But that aside, this is an RGB light, and it's very deceiving the way they made this. If you measure the bare light output coming from this versus the 120 coming out of this, these are both bare. Notice this one, it has little tiny pyramid lenses on here, so this focuses the light more. It's very deceiving. Here's the Ulanzi 120 with a typical open LED beam spread. It reads 5.62. The Amaran Ray 120 reads 5.69, but look how much more concentrated the beam is. That's why. When you put the Amaran reflector on, which is a really good reflector by the way, it goes up to 11. But if you put the same reflector on the Ulanzi 120, it goes up to 11.4. That's almost half a stop brighter than the Amaran 120 in the real world. Even the Zhiyun X100 is brighter, and the color readings are better. The Ulanzi has an RA of 96.7 and the Amaran is 95.8. The Zhiyun X100 has better CRI across the board, both R9 and RA, and the Zhiyun X200 numbers just blows the Amaran away. So when they say better color, they mean compared to other RGB lights. Bicolor or dedicated daylight will always leave RGB in the dust. So if you want the Amaran Ray 120, sign up for the giveaway at marcuspicks.giveawayenter.com. Moving on to the first of the big ones, away from the 100 watt range, is the VL200. This one is, believe it or not, quite portable. It looks big and clunky, but if you take away this thing, this is actually can be battery powered. So let's put 2 of these little 14 volts on here. All right, now we are battery powered. Look at this. This is great. This can be, and it doesn't really weigh that much. Without the batteries, this is 8 pounds, which is actually very lightweight compared to most of these ones that we're going to be looking at here. So this is quite portable. With this, you get full power with the V-mount batteries. And this one has a light. Okay, so this one was a reading of 5.62 bar. This one is 5.69 bar. $300 is for this thing. This one here is $370. And this is an X200. Interesting because this is 200 watts and this is 200 watts, but this one is brighter. It costs $70 more. It's 2.65 pounds. And this is 8.01 bar. This is 5.69. So this is a little brighter, but it's a lot smaller, obviously, until you put the battery on. Big, giant, heavy, clunky battery. It puts out a good amount of light for its size. Outdoors, it's not strong enough for a softbox, but if you use the right reflector, you can get some really good stuff with it. And because it's so small, it's obviously great for traveling. Moving on to this one. This is one I was hoping was going to be really cool. It's 300 watts, so it's more powerful than this one. It's a Neewer FS300B. It's 4.9 pounds. It's really lightweight. It's made out of plastic. It doesn't weigh anything, which I like. It's $300, which is less than this one. And it runs on AC, as you can see. It doesn't have a controller. It doesn't need a controller, which is really cool. It does have a power brick. But the cool thing about this one is this comes off, and you can use, if you want to use a battery, you use a 3-pin XLR to D-tap. There you go. This is the whole setup right here. You got a battery, a little cable, and here's the light. 300 watts. I was really excited about this because it doesn't weigh much. It's about half a stop less if you use the battery power. But it's still pretty good. I mean, considering you're able to run this thing battery with no controller, no power brick, you just plug the cable right into the battery. That's really cool. And it's not as bright as the other 300s, but yeah, it's really cool with that you're able to do this with the D-tap. This is $300 for that. Okay, moving on to the next 300 is a Godox VL200. This is also just a little over $300. This one doesn't need a 24 volt, just like the 200. This thing can take 2 little tiny 14 volt V-mount batteries and you're good to go. Or you could use, obviously, AC. If you just have the controller and the head, it's 9.4 pounds minus the power brick. The thing about this one I really like is this one has a really nice look. The video just has this nice colors, nice look to it. Each light has a different personality and gives you a different color, a different look, but I really like the look that this one gives me. Okay, moving on to the next 300, which is smaller and brighter than this one. They don't make these anymore either. I've had these for a long time. You can still get some though. This one is the newer one by Zhiyun. This is the G300. This one is only AC power. You cannot, for some reason, power it with batteries, but it's got a little tiny controller, which is cool. It doesn't need a power brick. It's all built into here, so it's really portable. I really like that, but unfortunately, it's only AC. It only runs off of house power. It's $600 though. My God, look how expensive this thing is. So this is the whole thing right here. It's small and portable. It's great, but portable is AC. Like they make it portable, but then it only runs off of AC power, which is stupid. This is 7 pounds, and their light reading is 11 bar, but. So $600 for this thing? I don't know. And the fact that it won't run off of batteries, that kind of sucks. All right, now that we did the 300s, here's the new Amaran Ray 360. Surely this is more powerful than a 300, right? If you measure the bare LED, you get 11. But wait, the LED isn't bare. That's a pyramid lens on the front, which again concentrates the light into a smaller spot of light. The Godox VL200 has a reading of only 8.05 with the bare. That's not as much as the 11 coming out of here. Does that mean this is weaker than this? No. The light is just spread out more because it's a pure open exposed LED. When you put the Amaran reflector on the Amaran Ray 360, the reading is 16.1, and when you put that same reflector on the Godox VL200, the reading goes all the way to 16.7. That's 3/4 of a stop brighter than the 360, and this is just a 300. So this 6-year-old 300 has more light output than the new Amaran 360 Ray. And again, the colors are not as good as bicolor or daylight. The RA is 93.8, which isn't bad for RGB, but even the cheap Neewer FS300B has an RA of 95.4, and the FS600, which has an RA of 95.9. And the 360 does not use 360 watts. It uses 420 watts to produce the equivalent of 360 watts. RGB lights do not produce a lot of light like bicolor or dedicated daylights, and the color isn't as good for skin tones. So let's move on to from 300 watts to 600 watts. Now again, these are getting brighter and brighter with each one. This one is 11 bare, this one is 11.2 bare. So as far as 600s go, this is the weakest one of the bunch. But this is one of the ones I like because, again, there's no controller. It's just a power brick is all it is. This is the Neewer FS600B, and I like the form factor, and I like lightweight plastic stuff. I don't need heavy duty metal things. I like lightweight. So that's what this thing is. It's lightweight. It's $570. So it's actually cheaper than this 300. It's 12 pounds. It doesn't weigh that much more. Anyway, so yeah, that's the only sucky thing about this one is it doesn't have battery power, and there is no way to, this is 48 volts going into here. So really hard to, unless Neewer does make a 600 that runs off of batteries, but it's got a big giant heavy controller on it, which is a whole nother, it's $1,000 and all that. So I don't like those big heavy controllers. Speaking of heavy controllers, here we go to, look down here. This is what I'm talking about. This is a typical controller for lights like this. You got a V-mount on this side and a V-mount on this side, and they usually run on 26 volt V-mounts instead of 14 because you just need the power. 2 times 26 gives you your 50 volts that you need, and makes it really heavy. And I don't like that. This one here is the Nanlite Forza 500B2. I think out of all of these, this is the one I hate the most. It is the most annoying. It's so heavy. This thing weighs 19 pounds. This is the second heaviest light of all of these, and it costs $1,500. $1,500 for this thing. This is only a 500. This is a 600. Although this 500, this is a great example of how just because something's a 500, 600, the 500 is brighter than the 600. But it weighs so much. And this is 11.3 bare. This is 11.2 bare. So they're almost the exact same brightness. And this one needs two 26 volt V-mount batteries, or you run it off of AC. And look at this nightmare. Look at this. Look at all this crap that you have to have go with it. So this is like a permanent studio light, and definitely not something you want to carry out into the world. It's just big. It's heavy. 19 pounds for this getup, and it's just, and it's $1,500. So let's move on. Here we have the GVM SD500B AIO, which stands for all-in-one. There is no controller, no power brick, nothing, just a cord. That's it. So that's cool. Everything isn't contained in here. It is heavy though. It's 17 pounds. This is the third heaviest light. It's big and it's heavy. And the light output is 11.4. It's $500 and it's AC only. This will not run on any battery power, so that sucks. So I'm not too fond of this one because it's big, it's heavy, and it doesn't run on battery power. Now, this one is one of my favorite ones here. This is the Nanlite FC500B bicolor. $700. It's actually on sale for $399. I don't know if it's just a holiday thing or what, but yeah, this thing you can get on a good deal. It's 12 pounds, but it doesn't weigh really hardly anything. This is one of the most lightweight ones for this amount of power. It's actually quite lightweight. And this controller here, this doesn't weigh much either. Look at how tiny this controller is. And when I say 12 pounds, I mean the head and the controller, 12 pounds. So it's really not that bad for something that's this bright and this powerful. So there is no power brick. It's all in here. And look how small this controller is. As controllers go, this is a pretty small one. So this is actually pretty lightweight. I love that. And it's powerful. And it's bicolor. And it comes with this clamp that you put on a pole, and then it just goes right into there like that. That's really cool. Of course, almost all these are DMX power. This one is 11.5 bare and 0.3 of a stop dimmer with battery power, but it's still pretty good. This one here is half the price of this one. These are both 500s. This one here is twice the price. And this one weighs 7 pounds more than this one. Look at this. It's running at 100%. And it's only running on one battery, one 26-volt battery. You don't need two of them. So you're getting your full 500 watts with one 26-volt battery, which is really cool. This one requires two 26-volt batteries. And this one is only 500, just like this one. So this one is twice the price. It's 7 pounds more, and it needs two heavy 26-volt batteries. This one is 7 pounds less, half the price of the other one, and only requires one battery. I love this one so much. It's great. And it also comes with if you plug it into a wall, the AC brick, which is great. But if you're battery powered, you don't need any of this stuff at all. This is $700. It's on sale for $399 right now. I know it's just the Christmas holidays or something. And it's really pretty lightweight. All right. So moving up to the next one here, we have the 600 Lightmons LA 600 by. I don't know. I just got this weird thing about names like this. I hated this one in the beginning because I hate the name Lightmons. It's like Zhiyun's Molus. Like who comes up with these names? It's like weird names. But I actually started to like this light. This one has a really nice look to it. The look that this gives you with the video is one of my favorite. I don't know, the warmth, the color, the way it does the lighting. This one gives me a really good look. The thing I don't like about this one is it's AC only. You cannot power it with batteries. It's 48 volts. But and the thing I like about back and forth between what I like and don't like, the thing I like about it is this battery and this power brick goes right onto the side here. It doesn't dangle down below. You can actually just clamp it right here on the side of the light. I wish they all would do this. That is so cool. It's $600. It weighs 16 pounds. So this is the fourth heaviest of the lights. But again, it doesn't have a controller. Everything is built into the head. It just has a really nice look, but it is AC only. All right, so after the 600 and before the 800, I assume this is where we bring in the big, heavy Amaran Ray 660, right? Well, again, this is an RGB light. It uses 765 watts to produce the same amount of light as these 500-watt lights. Not 600 or 660. Even with the great reflector that it comes with, this 660 is not as bright as the Lightmon 600 with a standard little 7-inch reflector on that. As RGB lights go, the Amaran Ray color is pretty good, but not as good as dedicated daylight or bicolor lights. So that takes us to this one. This is the best one of all of them. For power, output, it's battery powered. You can battery power it. Now, it is big and heavy. It is the biggest and heaviest of the bunch, but it does take two batteries, 26 volts to get this is 800 watts. This is the Nanlite Forza 720. The 720 has nothing to do with the wattage. That's just a model number. This is 800 watts. It's $1,500. It's not cheap. It is the heaviest one at 22 pounds. And the light reading is 11.8 bare. This one has the best look of all of them. As far as the video, the color, the lighting, this is the best one for the look. It's got the most power, the best color, runs off of battery power. The only thing is, if you got to lug this thing, this is the kind of thing you pull out the back of your car and walk 10 feet to set it up. This is not something you lug up the side of a mountain. But it is portable. You can run it off of batteries, two 26-volt batteries, but it only outputs 70% brightness when you're using batteries. So if you strictly want to just use battery power, the FC500B outputs the same amount of light at 100% and it weighs a lot less. So for the most power and portability, that makes the FC500 my favorite. It will run at 100% on battery power. And for just 0.2 of a stop less, it'll even run on just one battery. That's pretty amazing. Now, as far as portability, no, yes. So this is as far as power and portability, this one is good because to go on location, you disconnect the AC, and there you go. This is your whole setup right here. This is 9.4 pounds with the head and the controller. You don't need any power brick. This is totally portable, two 14-volt batteries. You get a decent amount of power. 300 is, you can't put a softbox on it, but you can put a reflector with some kind of diffusion on it, but it is portable. It's a good amount of power for portability. Of course, if you're indoors, you can, any of these will work, but that's my third choice. This one's kind of cool. It's kind of weak though, but I like the fact that you can just plug the battery right into a cable. This one is small, of course, but it's expensive, $370. But size-wise, this is the smallest, most powerful light you can get if you use a 26-volt V-mount battery and the right reflector. This one is pretty good. This is only, actually, if this one is 5.69 bare, the 300 is 8.03. So this is only like a quarter of a stop brighter than this one. Like 3/10 of a stop between this and this. And this one is, this is 8 pounds. This is 9.4 pounds. So this is 1.5 pounds heavier than this. And you can still get these. These are actually pretty good. But again, it's only a 200. And out of all of them, this is my favorite one of all because it's the smallest, the lightest, and you just have several of these to make up for one big one over there. So, I mean, I like this. This is the most versatile of the bunch. Like, look at this. This is the whole, after everything I showed you, look at this. It's got the battery on. This is the whole thing. There's no controller, no power brick. It's totally portable. And this is how small the light is. It's only 2.5 pounds, the whole thing. And you put a little tiny, and you get 100% power with just a little tiny 99 watt V-mount in there. So again, it depends what you're using it for, but those are my favorite ones. Anyway, so that's it. I try to cover this as fast as possible. Keep in mind, there is a difference between the typical V-mount battery that most people know, which is 14.8 volts, and the 26 volt V-mount battery, which is big and heavy. And that's when you get into lights like this, the bigger ones, most of them run 100% only on 26 volts, and they run on like 50 to 70% on the 14 volts. So these are expensive. The cheapest one of these, which is this one, is like almost $300. The good ones that last forever, that are rugged, cost up to $800. It's ridiculous. So $400 for a typical 26 volt V-mount battery is like, expect to pay $400 for one of these. And a lot of these need two of these, which is another reason I like this one real quick right here is this one here. The FC500B only runs on one battery. You don't need two of them. That's really cool. And you get 500 watts. And look at this. As far as brightness goes, it's right up here with the 600s and the 800s. So that's really cool. I really like this one here. And it's on sale too for $399. I don't get anything for saying this. I'm just telling you. But normally it's $700. All right, so that's it. I hope you got something out of this here, because I like lights. Photography isn't about cameras and lenses that everybody obsesses about. What makes things look great is the lighting. That's what makes things look great more than anything else. You can make great stuff with cheap cameras, but the lighting's what makes everything look great in video and photography. I hope you got something out of this. I hope you enjoy my channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, have a good one. Bye-bye.